Okay, guys, just a few more seconds, okay? Then we can start today's live stream. So let me just make sure you can all see my share screen. Okay, so let me reshare my screen, okay? So it looks like it doesn't share. Okay, stop sharing at the moment. Stop sharing. Okay, I'm going to reshare my screen now. Share screen. Okay, good. Okay, guys. So, welcome to today's live stream. We are going to solve for some AMCA problem, especially in the topic of geometry. Okay. So, last week we took a little break because the Independence Day. So today we are going to continue our live stream. So this will be our week 4. So let me make sure the screen is up. Okay, now for this problem, so as you can see, this is a warm-up problem and it's in a rectangle, okay? A, B, C, D. AB is 10, AD is 21, and point M is the trisection point of AD, which is closer to A, and it's asking for what is the area of triangle ABC. So for this problem, let's first draw the rectangle. So let's draw the rectangle first. Okay, my pen ready. Here's my pen. Since AB is the y's, let's draw it shorter, okay? So now we have AB right here, and AD is the length, so it's longer. Then here is point C. Now, let's mark the length. AB is 10, and AD is 21. We know that point M is the trisection point, so point M. Now, where is point M? So it divides AD into 3 equal parts and is closer to A. So we know here should be point M, okay? So is the screen still black? Let me make sure. Okay, so now we have M to be the trisection point of AD and is closer to A. So we know AM is 7, right? Because 21, if we divide into 3 equal parts, each part should be 7. So here, let's use a different color. This part is 7. So AM now is 7. It's asking the question, what is the area of the triangle AMC? So now AMC, okay, let's connect all the points. We're asking for this area. So we all know that the area of a triangle is equal to base times height, right? Then divided by 2, okay? So never forget the denominator, divided by 2. So what is the base in this case? So AMC, the base can be AM times what is the height? So in this case, since it is an obtuse triangle, its height falls outside of the triangle, okay? So its height should be here. CD. And we know that AB is 10 and CD is the y's as well of the rectangle ABCD, so it should be 10 as well. So AM times CD, then divided by 2. The right step is pretty simple, right? We just plug in numbers. So we know that AM is 7, then CD is 10, divided by 2. We will have 70 divided by 2. So the answer is 35. We are going to choose option D, okay? So that's for the first problem. Okay, so let me make sure the screen sharing is up. share on that. Share. Okay, guys, so let me make sure it's not a black screen, okay? I don't know what's happening, but definitely I can fix that. So let me make sure how to fix that. Share. Stop sharing now. Okay, so I stop sharing now. Are you going to see like me? Okay, you're going to see me. Good. So I'm going to share that. Okay, I think now you should be able to see my screen, right? It's the warm-up question, problem number 1. So why it doesn't working this time? So let me make sure how it can be fixed. Okay. Okay, good. I think now it works, right? So now it works. So that's already done for the first problem. And we can now go to the second one, right? It should be based on the same technique. Since the first one is a warm-up and the second one is just AMC. It's one of the real exam problem. So let's see the second one. In rectangle ABCD, so same idea since it's a geometry question. So let's first draw ABCD. I will change a different color. Okay, so ABCD. Now, we have our rectangle ABCD. AB is the width because it's shorter. Then AD is the length. So AD is 8, AB is 6, and last vertex is C. Point M is the midpoint of AD. So we should draw M as well. M divide AD into 2 equal parts. So AM is 4, right? What is the area of triangle AMC? Let's use a different color. Now the triangle we're looking at is AM, connect AM first, then connect AC, then connect MC. So this shaded blue triangle is the one we're looking for its area. Now, let's go back to blue. So since M is the midpoint of AD, is the midpoint of line segment AD, then we know that AM should be what? AM should be 1/2 times AD, right? So that's basically 1/2 times AD is 8. So AM is 4. Then the area of triangle AMC, still, when looking for the area of a triangle, we think about the basic formula, right? The base times height divided by 2. So the base should be AM. And the height. Since this is an obtuse triangle, so it height falls outside of the triangle itself. This should be its height. We know the opposite sides of a rectangle are of the same length. So we have AM times CD divided by 2, okay? Since it's a triangle, we need to divide by 2 part. And AM is just 4, which is directly from here, times CD is 6, then divided by 2. So 4 times 6, 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Okay, so that's why we choose option A for this one. Now, okay, so before I move on to question number 3, I will give you a brief information session. Okay, so let me zoom out a little bit. So I know a lot of you guys are preparing for the upcoming 2025 AMC 8, and as the test is coming up, we offer a timeline, so it gives you some class options to take in order to be better prepared when taking the exam. So starting from July, we will offer a AMC 8 mock test. So actually today will be our first session, and on Friday and Sunday, okay, this Friday and this Sunday, which I believe is the July 12th and July 14th, we will have another 2 sessions of AMC mock test. So for the mock test, it will be like exactly the same as taking a real AMC test. So there will be 25 problems with a time limitation of 40 minutes. So after the test, our teacher will provide a detailed problem explanation session of I think, last 10 problems. Then after that, there will be a brief summary about how to prepare for the exam. So this is like a combo, okay? It's really worth taking if you feel like you want to know what's your current ability in terms of AMC8 problem solving. And after that, we will have our second round of real exam practice. So that's basically a short-term class. Teacher will give you the detailed explanation based on past exams. For example, I think in first round, we have exam from 2009, 2012, 2014. And in the second round, we'll do the exact same format, but those exams will be given in different years. For example, we will provide you the real exam questions from 2019. And I believe we will have the most current, the latest 2014 real exam problems. Okay, so that's for the class offered in July. And as we move into August and September, we'll have short-term classes for both AR and HR students. So for AR class, this class is designed specifically for those who are aiming to achieve the achievement role in the upcoming 2025 AMC8 class. AMC8 exam. So in this class, we will basically focus on solving problems in the first 12 to 18 problems. So that will give you a very good taste about what problems you are likely going to encounter in the real exam. And same idea for the HR, but HR, since it's designed for students who are aiming for the honor roll class, so it will be a little bit challenging, okay? We'll be put a little bit more focus on questions like 19, 20, 21. Is a higher difficulty level compared to the AR class. Other than that, these two classes should be the same. And we will also offer you the short-term modular class and another round of AMC mock test. As we move to October and November, we'll have the second round of AR and HR class, the exact same thing as the first round, but using different questions, okay? So in these two classes, we will use both real exam problems and adaptive problems. So for adaptive problem, it basically means that it's from a real exam problem, but we change the number a little bit, so it become a new problem for practice purpose. And we will have another round of the short-term modular class and another round of AMC8 mock test. So as we move to December, which is just right before taking the real exam, we'll have a third round of the AR and HR class and the AMC8 mock test. And before we take the test, we will have a short-term DHR class. So DHR class is defined specifically for those who are aiming for the Distinguished Honor Roll in the 2025 AMC8 exam. And there will be also a final round of our AMC8 mock test. So as you can see, in the second half of the 2024, before we enter into the 2025, we have a lot of class offered to you, and it's recommended you take those you feel like it will be really helpful and beneficial. So it's not like you're going to take any single one of them, okay? It will be too much. So for example, if you're aiming for AR, then you can basically take all the AR class and maybe take 1 or 2 rounds of the real exam practice. So for more information, you can add me on WeChat. So my WeChat ID is ThinkVIP60, capitalized T, capitalized VIP, no space in between. And there's a Facebook study group, okay? So Facebook study group. You can search on AMC8 helpful and educational math resources on Facebook. And after you join the group, we will send out some class materials, send out some good practice problems for you to study. So that's for the information session. And now we can move on to our problem solving, okay? So next problem is an exit ticket. So exit ticket means that when you solve this problem correctly, you know you are proficient with the technique, okay? So this problem is set in a square ABCD. Let's draw the square first. I will use blue, good. So we now have a square ABCD with a set length of 8, okay? And we are given that point M and N are the midpoints of AD and DC respectively. So M is the midpoint of AD and N is the midpoint of DC. So M should be placed right here, right in the middle of AD, and N is here, okay? At the middle of DC. And the question is, what is the area of the triangle DMN? So let's use a different color to mark the triangle. Okay, so now we have our shaded green triangle to be the one we're trying to find its area, DMN. So we'll start with the given condition. That's basically DM is equal to 1/2 times the length of the line segment AD, right? Because M is the midpoint of the line segment AD. So it's 1/2 times what is the length of AD. AD is one of the edge of the square. So that's just be 8. So 1/2 of 8 is 4. And same deal, okay? Same deal. That should be DN. I'll do ND is also 1/2 times CD. And CD and AD are of the same length. So 1/2 times 8 is 4. Now, recall that the area of a triangle can be defined as base times height. In this case, let's take the base as MD, and the height is just DN. Then divide by 2, okay? So MD here is 4, and DN here is 4 again. So for this step, it's just plugging numbers, nothing difficult. Divide by 2, we will have 4 times 4 is 16 divided by 2, so the answer is 8. So for this one, we're choosing option B. So quick review for problem like this. When you see a problem like this, it's a geometry problem, but you are not giving a figure. You are trying to draw the figure as the first step. Then it's recommended that you mark all the value of length and mark some key points, maybe using a different color or something, so you can distinguish the point that you drawing from the given points, right? Then the rest is just applying formulas for calculating areas or maybe parameter. Okay, so that's like a 3-step approach to solve a geometry problem in AMC 8. Okay, good. So now let's go to the next problem. So it's about another topic, a warm-up problem. So in triangle DEF, since here no figure is provided to us, let's draw it ourselves. So in triangle DEF, DE equals DF equals 61, and EF is 22. So this will be our vertex D, here will be E, and here will be F. As I said, let's try to mark the length of each line segment on our graph, okay? So I'll put 22 for EF, then I will put 61 for DE, and DF is also 61. So there's a name for triangle that has 2 sides of the exactly same length, right? So what's the name? It's called an isosceles triangle. So let me write down the term here. It's called isosceles triangle. Okay, good. So there are some important features about those isosceles triangle, and let's try to explore it here, okay? So it's asking for what is the area of triangle DEF. So we all know the basic area formula for triangle is base times height divided by 2. For now, we can take EF as the base. That's good because we know what is the length of EF, but we do not know the height. So let's try to draw the height as a helping line in this figure. Let me draw it here. So starting from D, since it's high, so don't forget the perpendicular sign here, the notation. And let's call this point M. M is a point that falls along the line segment EF, okay? So now let's write down the formula. The area of triangle DEF now becomes the base is EF times the height, which is DM. Then the most important part, divided by 2, okay? So now we know EF and 2 is a constant. We just need to find what is DM. So for DM, let's recall that there is a very important formula or theorem. It's called Pythagoras theorem, okay? I will write down the words here. Pythagoras. I believe Pythagoras is an ancient Greek mathematician, right? Pythagoras, how to spell the name? Pythagoras theorem. So what does Pythagoras theorem really say? It says that suppose there's a triangle where we have this 90 degree here. We have A, B, C, okay? Then we know that A square plus B square give you C square. So this is the conclusion based on Pythagoras theorem. Given a right triangle, we have this relationship between the lengths of the 3 edges of the triangle. So in this case, let's try to apply this theorem to solve for the line segment DF, okay? So now we have our new triangle DEM, DEM. And DE is just 61, we know, and M. So there's a very important feature about why I mentioned isosceles triangle. So when you have a isosceles triangle, and in this case, D and EF are the two lines that with the same length. When you draw the height from D perpendicular to EF, M is going to be the midpoint that separates EF into two equal parts. Okay, so again, when you draw the height DM, where M falls on the line segment EF, given it's an isosceles triangle, then M is going to be the midpoint that separates EF into two equal parts. So we know that EF is 22, and now M is a midpoint, right? So EM, which is this part, okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, good. So EM, this part will be 11. So exactly this part. Okay, I will write it here. EM is just 1/2 of the base EF, which is 1/2 times 22. That will give you 11. Okay, now take a look at our triangle DEM. Among those three edges, we know two of them. So we can apply the Pythagoras theorem to solve for the question mark, which is DM. So in this case, our A is 11. So 11 squared plus B. Our B is unknown. So let's just put DM, okay? DM squared is equal to C squared. Our C now is 61 squared. So since this is equation, we can move around terms from the left of the equality to the right? So let's suppose we minus 11 squared on both the right-hand side and left-hand side of the equality. We'll have 61 squared minus 11 squared, and DM will just be taking a square root of their difference, right? So that's 61 squared minus 11 squared. That will be taking the square root of 3,600. So what is a number that when you take the power of 2 give you 3,600? That will be 60, right? So DM, we know its length is 60. Okay, good. But at this step, we are not done yet because we are not asking the question, what is the length of DM? We're asking the question, wait, I need to zoom out a little bit. We are going to solve for what is the area of triangle DEF. Okay, so good. Now let me go back to my pen. Okay, so the area of triangle DEF, which I have right here, is just EF times DM divided by 2. So EF times DM divided by 2. EF we know is 22, and DM we know is 60, right? So now we have the numerator to be the product of 22 times 60, and the denominator is just 2. So if you do the cancellation, you will have 11 here instead of 22, since 22 and 2 are crossed out. So it will leave you 11 times 60. So that's 660 for the area of the triangle DEF. So which option gave you 660? Option E, okay? So in this problem, let's do a quick review of how to solve this. Obviously, the first step is draw the figure ourselves. Then is draw the helping line. So I think the helping line is the most crucial step in this question, because when you draw the helping line, it provides you so much information, right? At first, it gives you the height of the triangle. And also because it's an isosceles triangle, you know that M is going to separate EF into two equal parts. And after that, we can apply the Pythagoras theorem. So given the length of two sides of a triangle is a right triangle, so we can solve for the last one using the A squared plus B squared equals A squared. And the rest is just plugging numbers, okay? Good. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, good. So before we head into the next problem, here again is an information session. I know a lot of you guys are preparing for the upcoming 2025 AMC exam. So in order to better prepare for that, Think Academy is going to offer these amount of classes that not only includes real problem, but also include detailed explanation, okay? So starting from July, we will have our first round of AMC mock test. Actually, today will be one of the session, but if you miss that or don't have time, that's totally fine, because we are going to offer the exact same session again on this Friday, which is July 12th, and this Sunday, okay? So it's July 14th. So for the format of the mock test, it will be exactly the same as taking a real AMC exam. So basically, that's 25 multiple choice questions, and with a limitation of 40 minutes to finish. After that, we'll take a 10 minutes break. Then there will be a teacher who gives you a detailed explanation of the last 10 to 12 problems. And right after that, so the explanation part will be around 50 minutes. After that, the final part will be a summary and provide you some suggestions about your strengths and weakness and how to better and most effectively prepare for the AMC exam 2025. And besides that, we have our second round of real exam practice lesson in July. So in this class, the teacher will provide you detailed explanation about past year's exams. For example, in the first round, we have real problems from 2009, 2012, 2014, and so on. But in the second round, we will take different years. For example, in this second round, we will have exams questions from 2019, and I believe the most recent 2024. Okay, 2024 exam problems will be given as well. And in August, in September, we'll have AR and HR class started. So for AR class, it's a class defined specifically for students who are aiming for the AR, which is the achievement role. So in this class, we will focus on explaining questions no later than, I think, question number 12 to question number 18. So this class is defined specifically for AR student. And similarly, its counterpart is called HR class. So HR class is defined specifically for those who are aiming for the honor roll. So for this class, it will be a little bit more challenging than AR class, because we will put a higher emphasis on questions like question 19, question 20, or question 21. Other than that, those two classes, AR and HR, should be the exact same format. And besides those two classes, we'll have our short-term modular class. So in this class, the teacher will just focus on one of the 6 modules in the AMC exam, as well as the second round of the mock test. So as we move to October and November, we'll have the second round of AR and HR class and another modular class, which is different from the modular provided in the August modular class. And the third round of AMC mock test. So same thing in December, there will be the third round of AR and HR class, another round of AMC mock test. And finally, right before we are ready for the exam, there will be a DHR class. So DHR is the abbreviation for Distinguished Honor Roll. And this class will be more challenging than the AR and HR, because it will put a higher focus on the last maybe 3 questions. Okay, it's defined for students who are aiming to get a DHR in the real exam. And we will offer you a final round of AMC mock test. So as you see this timeline, we offer maybe 12 classes, but it's highly recommended that you only take those that you feel like will give you the most benefits, that will be most helpful for you to do a final boost before you take the exam. So for more information, it's more than welcome for you guys to add me on WeChat. So my WeChat ID is ThinkVIP60. T is capitalized, VIP is capitalized, and no space in between. And there's another Facebook group that you can find some valuable class materials or other questions that you can use to study for the exam. So you can search in Facebook, AMC8 helpful and educational math resources. So both of these will be a very good resources for you to prepare for the exam. And you are more than welcome to add me on both these 2 channels. Okay, so we are ready to go to our next problem. Now it's a real AMC problem in triangle ABC. Let's first draw that. Okay, in triangle ABC. Okay, let me redraw that because I want to draw it as accurate as possible, okay? So usually you will see on the exam says maybe the figure given to you is not in the real scale. but as a teacher, I will try to do it as close as possible because we know AB and BC, they are shorter in length, and AC, which is the base, is the longest side of the triangle, okay? So in this case, we'll put B on top, then we'll have AB equals to BC, and both of them has a length of 29, then AC is 42. Okay, so that's our triangle. And because AB equals to BC, so now a term should be jumped directly into your mind. What's the term for triangle like this? Good, it's called isosceles triangle, okay? I will put the name one more time on top. So it's called isosceles triangle. Good, and the question is asking for what is area? What is the area of triangle ABC? Now, let's still recall the general formula. So area of triangle ABC, we first need to find its base, which is AC. Then we need to find the height. So since height is not given to us, so let's draw it ourselves as a helping line. Again, I will say, since it's perpendicular, point M is on the line segment AC, and BM now is our height. So now the height is BM. Then most importantly, the denominator divided by 2. Good. Now, we know AC, we know 2, but we do not know the value for BM. We need to solve for that. Again, because it's an isosceles triangle, then one of its most important feature is that when you draw the height from B, given that AB equals to BC, point M will separate AC into 2 exactly equal halves. So this is telling us that AM will equals to CM equals to 1/2 of AC, which will be 1/2 times what is AC is 42, so that will be 21. Okay, another way to say that is M is the midpoint of AC. So we are now going to have another triangle, which is ABM. So for better visual purpose, let me use a different color. Okay, good. So let me redraw that. Now we have our new triangle to be ABM, okay? Okay, ABM. Now let's draw ABM here once again. Here is A, here is M, here's B. We know AB is 29, and AM, as we just said, its length is 21. And we need to solve for BM. Remember, BM is perpendicular to AM. So in this case, we can apply the Pythagoras theorem, right? So Pythagoras theorem, let me write down the word again. Pythagoras theorem. So based on the theorem, we know that we should have 21 square plus BM, the square of its length, equals to 29 square. So let's solve for this equation. BM square will just be 29 square minus 21 square, okay? And we can take a square root on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the equation. So that should give you BM is equal to, let me write this part better. Okay, good. It's equal to 29 square minus 21 square, then taking the square root, okay? So let me get my pen. Okay. And in this case, I will draw arrows. I will start here. BM will be square root of 400, which is 20. So now we know BM is 20. We can just plug in the value of BM into our area formula. So our area formula is the area of triangle ABC is equal to AC is 42 and times BM, okay? What is BM? BM is 20. Then the denominator divided by 2. So if you take 2 from the denominator, also 2 from the numerator, you're left with 42 times 10, which is 420. So which one gives you the correct option? A, B, C, D, or E? 420 is option B. Okay, good. So that's for option B. And let me make my notes a little bit better looking. Okay. Okay, so we know this part, it should be a square. Okay, very good. So for a problem like this, as you can see, the most important step is still to draw the helping line correctly. When you draw the helping line and you know the feature of the isosceles triangle, the rest step should be pretty straightforward, right? Good. So we are going to see the exit ticket for this topic. Now it's provided to you that in an isosceles triangle ABC, AB equals AC equals 10 and BC is 12. Point M is the midpoint of BC. So now that's enough information for us to come with a figure. It's ABC. So sorry, A, B, C. A is on top and BC. So it's always a good habit to mark the length next to the line segment. Now we know AB is 10, AC is also 10, BC is 12. So M is the midpoint of BC. We know M is placed exactly here. What is the area of AMC? So again, we see the keyword isosceles triangle. And since M is the midpoint of BC, then if we connect A and M, okay, I should use breaking lines, right? But that should be fine. If we connect A and M, this will also be the height of the triangle ABC, which means that AM is perpendicular to BC. Now, after we knowing that, the rest step should be straightforward. So I will first start with, okay, I need to zoom out a little bit. Okay, good. So M is the midpoint. Of BC. So we know that BM should be equal to CM in terms of its length, and that should be 1/2 times BC. So that's 1/2 times 12, which will give you 6. Now, let's take a look of the triangle AMC, okay? Since it's asking for AMC. AMC, so AM is connected here, AC, let me draw it better. So AC, then finally MC. So the green triangle now is the one we're looking for its area. So I will also draw it here. A, M, C. We know that AC has a length of 10, and we know CM is half of BC, so it's 6. We just need to figure out what is the length of AM. Again, apply what? Apply the Pythagoras theorem. So I will one more time write down the name for the theorem. So that's Pythagoras theorem. Start with P, Y, T, H, O. Plus CM squared, which is 6 squared, should be equal to what? Okay, I think the screen sharing is off. Let me re-sharing that, okay? So, okay, so maybe we need to hold on for a few more seconds to make sure the screen is off again. Okay, so usually I feel like it will be a black screen for a few seconds, but after that it should automatically be fixed. Okay, so for now it is still black screen. Okay, so I think for now it is still black screen. Let me refresh my own YouTube again. Okay, good. Now you should be able to see the problem again. As I said, we are going to apply the Pythagoras theorem. So that's am squared plus 6 squared is equal to 10 squared. Then since it's equality, we can move around terms from the left-hand side or from the right-hand side of the equation, right? So suppose in this case, let's minus am squared on minus 6 squared on both sides of the equation. We should get am squared is equals to 100, which is 10 squared minus 36. So that's basically saying am squared is 64. So which number has its square to be 64? It's 8, right? So am is equals to 8. Okay, so that's the important finding. Sorry. Let me continue here. So we are looking for the area of triangle AMC. So area of triangle AMC is equal to base, which is CM times the height, which is AM, then divided by 2. So what is CM again? CM is 6. What is AM? We just find its length to be 8. Then 6 times 8 divided by 2 is 48 divided by 2. So the answer should be 24. Okay, so which option A, B, C, or D gives you 24? Should be option C, right? So that's for this problem. Again, it's the same technique, draw the helping line. But in this case, it's given to you that point M is the midpoint. So it's testing that, do you know that given a isosceles triangle, connecting the midpoint of the base to the top vertex will give you the height of the triangle. So I think that's the tricky point of this problem. Okay, now we are good to move on. So before, I think there should be one more. Okay, so before we doing the last problem for today's live stream, again, I want to provide you a brief information session. So as we are entering the second half of the year 2024, we are really close to the AMC 8 exam in 2025. So this time, we offer you a number of classes starting from July. We will first have the AMC 8 mock test. So for the mock test, actually today is one of its session. If you miss that, that's totally fine, because we are going to provide you the exact same session on this Friday, which is July 12th, and the Sunday, July 14th. As for the format, the exam itself, the mock test itself, will be 40 minutes time restricted, and there will be 25 multiple choice questions. So after that, we are going to take a 10 minutes break, drink some water. Then teacher will provide a detailed explanation focused on the last 10 to 12 most challenging problems from the mock test. And after that, there will be a 10 minutes brief summary and introduction session about what classes to take and how to be well prepared for the AMC 8 2025 exam. So that's for the activities in July. And as we enter in August and September, we will offer you the short-term AR and HR class. So for AR class, it's designed specifically for students who are aiming to achieve the achievement role in the 2025 AMC 8 exam. And HR class is the same thing, same format, but the only difference that the class content will be a little bit more challenging, since this class is most fitted for students who are aiming for the honor roll, okay, in the upcoming AMC 8 exam. And after this class, there will be another short-term modular class. So we all know there are 6 modulars included in AMC 8 test, but in the modular class, we will just focus on one of the 6 modular. So that's really beneficial for those who are strong in maybe the rest modulars, but need some improvement and help in one of the modulars. And there will be another round of AMC 8 mock test either in August or September. As we entering October and November, same thing. We'll have AR class and HR class for the next round. Then we will have another modular class. So this modular class will be different in terms of contents than the previous one in August, because we will take we'll focus on another modular from the AMC 8 exam. And there will be a third round of the mock test. So basically the same thing for December, still AR, HR class and mock test. And right before we taking the exam, there will be a short-term DHR class. So we all know that DHR is just the abbreviation for Distinguished Honor Roll. So this class will be more challenging than the AR and HR class because that will focus on the last 5 or 3 problems to make sure students are well prepared for getting a very good score in the AMC exam 2025. Then there will be a final round for the mock test so that you can test your ability and build up confidence before you taking the exam. So for more information about the timeline or any specific lessons, you can add me on WeChat. Again, my WeChat ID is thinkvip60. T is capitalized, VIP is capitalized, then there's no space in between. Another thing to mention is that for Facebook users, okay, there is a Facebook group called AMC8 Helpful and Educational Math Resources. So in these groups, we will regularly share some class materials, post some discussion about problems, and provide some practice that you can use to study for the exam. So I think both the WeChat and Facebook are a good way for you to get more information about the exam. Okay, so I think we are ready for our last problem of today's live stream. It's a warm-up problem, so refer to the figure below. ABCD is a rectangular field with length AB is 102 meters. Okay, so let's mark it. Sorry, let's mark it on the figure. 102 meters for AB. And AD is 51 meters, so AD is 51 meters. The road from entrance A and B are both 1 meter, right? So this part is basically saying that, as you can see, there's a small gap between the shaded black part and the line. So this part, okay, this part is 1 meter. And same thing for B. This small gap is wide, it's just 1 meter. And the part where both roads meet is 2 meter wide. So you can see the road meets like here, right? So we know this part is 2 meter. So let me clean my graph a little bit. Okay, good. The question is asking for the other parts are all planned with grass and lawns. Then the total area of lawns is how many square meters? So the in this figure, the lawns are denoted as the black part, okay, the shaded part. So this is actually a question asking for solving for the shady area. So of course, you can calculate, the area of A, B, C, D is just y times length, then you can minus the area of those unshaded part. But that will be too time consuming, right? So let's try to do some translation and directly find out what is the area. So given that the gap is 1 meter at the entrance of A and B, so entirely AD is 51 meters, we know that exclude the gap, this should be 50 meters. So I will erase that part and write down a new number here. So we know from D, okay, to the entrance of the gap, this will be, okay, let me change the color actually to make it better looking visually, okay? So we know from D to the entrance here, this should be 50 meters. So the entire AD add up to be 51, which is the condition given to us, right? So same thing here. From C to our entrance, this should be 50 meters. So given that AB equals to CD is 102 meters, and the entrance where A and B intercept is 2 meters, we know from, let me use another color again. I will use purple, okay? So we know from D to this gap, it should be 50 meters. And same thing here to C should be 50 meters. So 50 plus 2 plus 50, they add up to be 102, which satisfy the given condition. Now, let's think about the line segment AB. We know its total length is 102, okay? But I will erase that because we want to mark it separately. So I will again use purple. Okay, good. So we know that this part, okay, is also 1 meters, and also here. Because let's recall what is given to us. The roads from entrance A and B are both 1 meters, right? And the part where both roads meet is 2 meters. So since here, the purple part in the bottom, they are still, the two roads still doesn't meet, right? So we should know that it's still 1 meter, right? And think about this is 1 meter, this is 1 meter. The entire length of AB is 102. So exclude those entrance. The rest part should be 102 minus 2, which is 100 meters. So let me mark down using a yellow color. So we know from A to here, and this part, then from entrance to B, okay? So all these three yellow parts, they add up to be 100. Now, since we have 100 on the top, 50 on both sides, and 100 on the bottom, we now have the opposite side to be the same length. So think about, do you know a figure that the opposite sides are the same length? It's a rectangle, right? So let me draw a rectangle here real quick. So think about our ABCD rectangle. The opposite side, okay? For example, AD and BC, they're opposite side. They should be of the same length. And CD and AB, they are the opposite side. They are equal in length. In this case, we have the CD to be 100 meters after we exclude the gap, and also AB to be 102 minus 2 is 100 meters after we exclude the gap. So these two opposite sides, they are equal in length, and AD after exclude the gap is 50 meters, and BC after we minus the length of the gap is also 50 meters. So again, ADBC as a pair of opposite side, they are of the same length. So now we have a new length. So the area of the rectangle, I will still call it ABCD, will be its width, which is BC times the length, which is CD. So that's basically 50 times 100, okay? So the product is 5,000. We should choose option C, and 5,000 is our final answer. Okay, so thank you again for coming to today's live stream. So again, if you have any question, I will go back to my information session. Wait. Okay, the screen sharing is off again. Let me reshare that. So, okay, so again, thank you for coming to today's live stream. And if you have any questions, feel free to add me on my WeChat, which is ThinkVIP60, or search the keyword on the Facebook, okay? I will see you next time, which is on Thursday. Bye.